Hello, everyone, and I am Janine Stanley, and it is that time again for the Ira Explorer Call, November 2020. Yay! And we are joined tonight by, we're all saying yay because there's only one more month left in 2020, I think, but I am joined tonight by Ryan Bishop, the YouTube guru extraordinaire. Hello, Ryan.
I love the title. It's great.
Yeah, I try to think of new things each week,
You do. I mean, for our expeditions, I was a bus driver. I thought that was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. I think you've been a wagon master and, all kinds of things. But,
It's definitely happened.
Tonight you were driving the YouTube and keeping a watch out for intrepid Ira staff members who will be joining us. So tonight it's going to be a bit of a short call, but we may take some input from you folks and let you know a couple things in Ira news. First and foremost, I want to let you folks know that it was not your imagination. We did have a short outage this afternoon, and that has all been remedied. And so your Ira service should be up and running just fine, no worries. But if you do have any issues and are unable to connect, please contact customer care. And they will be open for what, Ryan? Another hour, I believe.
Another hour, correct. Yes. Sorry, I had to look at time and then time conversion, and that happened.
I got to tell you guys, you have no idea. I am all for the flat earth at this point because time just messes me up now, because Ryan's in Arizona, of course, where they're equivalent to mountain time right now.
Janine,
just
I just got word. All right, bad. Ladies and gentlemen, Troy Otillio.
CEO, Mr. Troy Otillio. Hi, Troy.
Hello, everyone. Happy pre-Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving. It's unbelievable.
We were talking Thanksgiving food earlier.
We were, yes. We were talking about Thanksgiving earlier, and that was.
So, Troy, what's new at Ira this month?
What is new at Ira this month? I think, I think we always, talk about our access partners, but I think what everyone should know is behind the scenes, this is about the time Ira moves into some longer-term planning. We're looking ahead to 2021. I know 2020 has been a year that, none of us will forget. I think, when I'm old sitting on that rocking chair, I'm probably going to bore some, grandchildren or whoever else about, what was 2020, and have an infinite number of stories to talk about, and including my journey here at Ira, right? Like, this has been the year that I took the reins as CEO, not knowing that what was ahead, right? I'd like to think I still would have happily, taken over and taken the reins, but boy, like, no one prepared me for this, and it's been a journey, and I'm just so glad we're, still around. It's not, it's still challenging for all of us, but right now we're looking at what are we going to do in 2021, and what are some of the new initiatives and areas of focus. And so that's new. And it's these calls, by the way, that inform us on what's important. It informs us on, where the challenges are, and then, getting feedback from you all. So that's for sure new. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I do have to mention on an access side, the Target.com offer. So, Target's been a great partner. They've deployed Ira. They started with a very small deployment, yet they chose to go, across all their stores. I think we all appreciate that. And then most recently, they added support for their online shopping experience, which, again, I just have to think about, like, many of us don't want to go out and about. I mean, it's an increasingly challenging time given COVID. And so we turn to do online activities. Well, I personally love Amazon. I'm using Target.com right now because why? I think they're supporting the community that I care the most about, that we care the most about. So, and they've got a lot of great things. I've become addicted to Amazon, yet Target has some things Amazon doesn't. And
they certainly do.
Yeah, so I think I would just start with those two things. And, the other thing that's new is, we're headed into the holidays, and I hope everyone is looking forward to that. I know it's a little lonely, right? In this year, right? Like we're at home, and whether you're doing it through Zoom or in person, you're in small groups, like this is a time to connect with a family. So I hope that we can help as a company, make your holiday plans, easy and efficient. And so those are just some of the things I would open with.
Just a few. And we have one really cool thing to open with before we get to our big Starbucks update. We have someone has a new title on this call. Do they not?
Should I introduce it?
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So, all right.
I think it only looks,
Yeah,
you got
fair
to.
Okay, guys. So Ira's a tech company, and we've been around for 4 or 5 years, and we've had a lot of great folks work for Ira. But one of the most important roles at this company has kind of been, let's be honest, we haven't had one person playing the role, and it's just such an important role. And when you think about Ira, you think about, I think about, and we're proud because people tell us that, we've done a lot of innovative things. And, first off, there's the product itself, right? Whether you think of the service or our attempts to and we'll continue with this, attempts to figure out the best form factor, including glasses. That takes a lot of listening and creativity and to get to where we are, to have all the features and capabilities we have. And there's so much more to do. We have so many more ideas that you guys have given us that we've kind of considered. But at the end of the day, someone has to listen and sort out what's important from what's nice to have. And that role comes down to a product manager. And it's a very exciting role. The product manager, though, is often, sadly, a department of no, because there's only so many things our engineering team can do. So it's a lot of listening and then picking those few things. And then for people, whether it's inside or outside the company, not all those ideas can be executed. And so it's such a really important role because, boy, that, it's, development is precious, right? Meaning we just don't have, no one company has enough engineers to do everything. So it's really critical. And so I'm really excited to talk about Ryan Bishop, who joined the company, a couple of years ago and started just in our, and I say just, but in our care department. So he was taking the calls of customers, had inquiries or issues specifically around billing. Ryan also did a lot of things behind the scenes. He's someone at Ira that I really think fulfills a lot of what I think of when I think of Ira, like the passion. He's always raising his hand to do more. He always has well-informed opinions. And so he talked himself into one of the most important roles, if not the most important role at Ira, as Ira's new product manager. So I'm just really excited for Ryan. I'm excited for the company because now that we look ahead to 2021 and we look at kind of, increasing and doing more to, improve the product, it's important to have someone in place whose full-time role it is to do that. And yeah, I'm just really thankful to have Ryan at the company and to have him in this new role. And I can't think of someone better to take it on. So yeah.
Big clap emoji there, everybody.
Yay.
Yeah, congratulations, Ryan. And I think it really speaks to our company that we not only chose someone with a lot of experience with the product, et cetera, with the company, but also somebody who is blind. And I think that says a lot. Definitely says a lot about who we are here at Ira.
Exactly.
So would you like to say a few words, Ryan? Look at him, he's blushing.
Yeah, sure. No, I listen, I want to say it, I've been here for probably about I was trying to figure this out earlier, about 2 years and a couple of months now. But before I was even at Ira as an employee, I came here as an explorer. And I was an explorer for a good 7 months, and I know what it was like to pick up Ira at a conference. I know what it's like to see, what can this service be used for? And I'm proud to say that, you know, Ira has expanded so much in the past couple of years, and to see where it's gone. And I look forward to speaking with everybody. I look forward to hearing everybody, you know, where everybody would like to see Ira go. I think everybody has such great ideas. I've seen so many of them already coming into the role, whether you've shared it with our customer care team, whether you've shared it with your agents, or you've maybe put it somewhere else. And we do read those. Anything and everything that you post anywhere that you say in these meetings, in these Explorer calls, we look at every single one of them. They are read, they are looked at, and so I want you to know that input is especially important, and I'm looking to see where we want to go in the next upcoming year. And so I'm happy to hear from anybody who who has an idea, who has thoughts. And I want to move this company together and kind of move it forward and make it the best that it can be. So I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank Ira and of course the team here for being such a great team to work with. And I'm happy to see 2021 become a way better year. In more ways than one.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to say that I get to keep Ryan for the moment, at least, for our YouTube event. So I'm very happy about that.
Not leaving you two. I love these calls. You know, Janine, I volunteered to do this, guys. Like when Janine first came in, I said, you know, I have to be on these Explorer calls. I have to be doing something here because I love one of my favorite things to do is to go to conventions, to go to any place where I can interact with the end users and get to see what perspectives there are. And so being a part of these calls has really opened up a lot of viewpoints for me. And so getting to do this as YouTube, getting to put this out there, read everybody's messages, see all of the great ideas, the great input that everybody has, and that's not going away. So
definitely not. Definitely. And speaking of in Ira News, again, before we get to our big kind of talk about Starbucks here, we will have an Afternoon at the Museum event. We are going to be doing a 2-part series on the American Jazz Museum. So all of you musicians out there, everybody who loves jazz, you will definitely not want to miss this because this is, of course, one of the museums in our Association of African American Museums offer. So if you see things or you hear about things in this exhibit that you might want to go back and explore, you can do that with an agent for, I believe it's up to half an hour at a time. But you can absolutely do that with an agent for as often as you would like to visit the American Jazz Museum. And they have 2 particularly interesting options for online viewing. And one of those is their virtual museum. And that's where we're going to go on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And that will be live here on YouTube. And we will then put that in the podcast. And then our part 2 of that series will take place on Friday, December the 4th. So stick around for those 2 things coming up. And of course, next week being the week of shopping and family and stuff, a lot of that is going to be done online, as unfortunately COVID infection rates are rising around the country and different measures are being put in place. However, never fear, we've got you covered. So I'd like to talk, though, first of all, and kind of like to update everybody on where we are with Starbucks. I'm sure that by now you have heard, hopefully, although we're surprised how many people don't know, that we are doing a test project with Starbucks. And Troy, would you like to give folks the basic, kind of the overview of what this project is?
Sure, yeah. So we all know who Starbucks is. That needs no introduction. What they've decided is that Ira looks like an exciting opportunity to provide better service for this community. And, you know, they went into this, and to their credit, like They asked a lot of questions. They did a lot of reference checking, but ultimately what they found was, there's strong support both on an individual basis and with a lot of our partner organizations like NFB and ACB. And so we kind of passed that first sniff test, but what they're really looking to understand is what would the usage be? How much engagement will they receive because of Ira? And they decided, as most brands do, that initially they decided, hey, we'd like to do this, but we probably want to wait till after the holiday season. Operations are super challenging during holiday season. That's when we get more customers, more stress. We don't want to, change anything. And we reminded them, the beauty of Ira is, look, you don't have to do anything. Like literally just almost like give us permission to turn it on. Yes, there's some paperwork behind the scenes. And so lo and behold, they went back and they thought about it again. They said, no, let's go. And as you know, we launched Ira for Starbucks. They also chose to do something which is, I think, normal. It's kind of in the mindset of most large companies. Instead of rolling it out in every city at every Starbucks, which we always advise because it's less confusing, they chose instead to follow their playbook. Their playbook says you start small and you expand from there. And so that's how we arrived at the 7 cities. Because I get this question all the time.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
how come? And just in general, by the way, like, I would love to say that we get to decide where Ira Access is deployed. We're given that the access partner is paying for it, really at the end of the day, they choose where and when this gets deployed. We strongly advocate, and sometimes we choose not to enter an access agreement. Well, I don't know if we've ever chose not to. But we strongly advocate, like, hey, if you're going to do this, do it nationally. Don't confuse people. Don't leave others out. Don't make someone feel bad that they don't have it in their neighborhood when it's in others. But nonetheless, Starbucks has their process. They're a big company, and we're not going to be able to challenge that windmill. So lo and behold, they chose their 7 target cities, and right now they're assessing engagement on 2 levels. And I may have spoke about this last time. I'll keep it a little brief. They're looking at how many unique users make calls in that city. So if Jenine goes, if I go, if Ryan goes, that is 3. They're also looking at how many repeat uses. So if Ryan goes 7 times in one day, that shows that Ryan has a problem, but it also shows great engagement, right? That he's a really
more true than you think, Troy.
I was thinking about myself, but whatever. Yeah, Anyway, they're looking at those. And the third thing they're looking at in general is, are people making noise on social media? And not everyone, even myself, like, CEO, I should be more out there in social. I know this, but it's not in my nature. Yet you will find me. So but they are looking for, are people talking about it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever else, those expressions are made. A large company like Starbucks has a whole team who monitors social media, looking for both good and bad. And so they're reading that. So those are the indicators, and based on that outcome will determine whether or not they move forward with a larger rollout. And it's a really challenging situation. I mean, I'm just going to be transparent here. I would love to say to everyone, like, go out and use Starbucks if you're in those cities, or call up your friends. But I also have to look at the fact that, we're in a pandemic. Like, this is not, I don't want anyone to go out and, take a risk that they're not, or take a perceived risk, or like whatever, change their behavior, for Ira's sake. And so our only call to action, I think, is if you're someone who already goes out and about, or knows people in those cities who go out and about, small nudge, hey, consider going to Starbucks and making a call. It's only going to help, I think, and I said this before, I see it as obviously helping Ira and helping explorers, because the more access partners we get, the more likelihood that we'll get another access partner that is maybe the one that you want. And overall, it lowers the cost, blah, blah, blah. But that helps, but it also is going to fly a flag for accessibility overall, because if a company like Starbucks is choosing to publicly endorse and support accessibility overall, it just simply raises the bar a little bit for everyone else. And so, that I also consider that. But that's what's going on in Starbucks. I think we're still below some of the metrics that we had hope to get, but it's really challenging to understand what the effect of COVID is, right? Like this is, it's just really hard. So
Yep.
hopefully I've been clear on, I'm not asking anyone to do anything that they're not comfortable doing, but if it makes sense, call someone in those target cities, make sure they know. By the way, and I'll finish with this, it's still very interesting that despite probably sending lots of emails and, I hope I don't spam you guys, like we're just trying to communicate. It's hard to get that word out. I mean, we're all busy. We all get a lot of communication. Thank God the election's over, but
Yes.
it's just hard to, it's hard to get the message out. And so, anything you can do to help get that message out is also super appreciated.
Absolutely. And we want to thank everyone who actually went to Starbucks over this period. This is the first month of our 3-month 90-day testing period. We want to thank everybody who did go out. And one of the things to know about maybe you say, okay, I don't want to spend too much time in businesses. Well, our offer allows you to pick up your order at the counter too, your to-go order. So you can absolutely use Ira to do that. And what we're finding is that, sometimes there might be a sign on the door that says, we're closed for 30 minutes, please come back. And how are you going to know about that? So that is another great use for Ira when you're approaching Starbucks or any business. Now, because things are changing so quickly in so many locations, also, please absolutely use Ira, use up those minutes to find out what kind of COVID-based restrictions there are in your area. And what the cases are looking like, where you might go get tested, how that might happen. Everybody please stay safe as we go forward. So Troy, you talked about a lot of things having to do with access. And I wanted to spotlight one of our access partners that you had talked about, and that is, of course, Target. And a lot of people have said the Target website is phenomenal. It's phenomenal for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is its accessibility. Target has worked very hard over the years with Steve Decker and working very hard on this too, kind of leading the accessibility folks to make the website accessible. And that's great. But I know I still go on there and sometimes I think, okay, I have, everything I need, but I want a little bit more information. And that's when I call up an Ira agent and say, okay, let's go shopping. And, it's always more fun to go shopping with somebody. And so, Ryan, have you been on the Target website yet? Besides on our webinar when we bought you hot chocolate?
I have actually for many different things. I shop at Target a lot, and in many capacities, both in store and on the website. But mainly lately, it's been the website to look at chairs. We were looking at office chairs. We were looking at different clothing. So yeah, no, there's been a lot of usage from Target, and I think the Target website accessibility is great. But where I love using Ira, and I'll say it, I love getting agents to visually describe items and be able to look at those carousels of photos to tell me what something might look like. Or realistically, a fun one that I was doing a couple weeks ago, I was looking for a deep fryer. And I was trying to find one that would be big enough, but one that also had a basket. And you'd be surprised how hard it is to find one with a basket with a handle on it. Where you didn't have to actually get one where you have to reach in with a pair of tongs to pull the basket out, because I'm lazy like that and I want to be able to pull up a handle. And you'd be surprised. I got one off Amazon, and without thinking, A, it was too small, and B, it wasn't what I was looking for. And and so it made me realize, maybe I should have called Ira. And so we went back online, went to the Target offer, went online, found a couple other baskets, a couple other fryers, and was able to find the one by using the help of an agent. Because sometimes, I think when you're reading those descriptions, the manufacturers will put a lot of good description, but they don't put a lot of visual description into it, is what I've found a lot of the time. And so being able to do that.
A lot of pictures that kind of don't.
Tons,
even if you have a caption brief, or even if, as Google Chrome does, and I think JAWS has a descriptive feature now for photographs, but that doesn't quite get the handle on the basket part.
Yep, not exactly. And it, it's really awesome because an agent was able to find one with a basket and a filtration system, and it's so cool. Like I feel so high tech now, but it's so cool.
We're all going to Ryan's house now.
Janine, what I've heard is like, describe pictures are great, but you can't ask a follow-up question, right? Like
that's it. You nailed it right there.
Yeah, yep. And it doesn't talk yet, but
that's a good way to put it.
Exactly.
I think that's a very good way to put it.
Exactly. And colors and patterns are always my kind of, explain what that color means. What shade of blue is blah, 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 blue.
How would you describe periwinkle? Just weird colors like that you're seeing. Like, how can you relate that? And I think an Ira agent does that so good.
Yes.
And something I always have to mention, because I've heard folks, say the following, like, well, gosh, shopping, like, I don't want to tie up the agent. It's not that important. I'm probably just going to browse around. I might not buy anything. Like, I don't want to waste the Ira service. I don't want to waste Target's money or whatever. Just stop. They absolutely want you to make use of that service. It's one way they're measuring the value of Ira. They've already paid for it. That and frankly, Steve Decker's on the call. I'm sure he would say the same thing. Like, you're going to make Steve look smart if there's a lot of usage, like, because it's going to. That's one way that, frankly, an access partner looks at the value. So
let me just throw it out there, guys. Our agents love.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I'll call an agent, just as an explorer, and say, hey, I need to go find something on Target. Okay, let's go. Let's go find it. There is no tying up our agents. They would love to spend their day shopping with you to look at colors and to look at things like that. So.
Absolutely. And, please use the service. This is your chance to do what everybody else gets to do. Just spend time browsing stuff online. And knowing that that's what the business wants you to do, because even if you don't buy anything, you know where you can get it next time, and you know what it looks like and what the price is now. And so this is kind of arming yourself and being able to do things that, everybody else does. So don't even price.
Can I, do we have, does hand raising work? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, it does.
All right, I want to know, because I just want to know how many folks on the call today. I'm going to ask two questions. So we're going to raise hands once, and then I'm going to ask second. How many know about the option to use TeamViewer so the agent can view your screen and you can still, be shopping and navigating, they're describing, but they can also view or possibly take control of it. How many people know about that capability?
And if you're on a Windows PC, you can press Alt+Y to raise your hand. If you're on a Mac, that's going to be Option+Y. I do see that we have some people on the phone here too, so that's going to be *9 to raise your hand on the phone.
Yeah, raise your hands. Let us know.
I'm watching, we're getting up to maybe half or third.
Yeah.
I should have asked the alternate question, which who doesn't know, but we'll take the no votes. All right, so sometimes we've been accused of having a quote hidden menu on Ira about things you can do that maybe aren't detailed, and I think it's never been like
hands going up. There's hands going up.
There's going more. That's good.
They're going up.
There's features that we just we just haven't put enough energy into to describe, and this is one of them. So I'll put something in the chat link so you can learn more. But this is something you can do. Okay, so that's.
And before you do it, let me lower before you ask your next
lower
question.
the hands now. Thank you, everybody.
I may have forgotten my second question.
Oh, no. Well, while you're thinking of your second question.
I did. All right. Well, I think that was the main one. I just want everyone to know that capability is there. So there is another way I've heard folks use Ira. You can simply just call up the agent and say, hey, I want to go shopping on Target. And the agent will pull up the Target website on their computer and just work that way. And that's in some ways even easier but both work. And I would encourage you to try both techniques and see which one works best for you. But yeah, I've reviewed, because I'm the CEO and I can look at some of the video recordings because we look at quality control. And I've looked at some of those shopping experiences. And by the way, Target does a great job. I should say I've looked at shopping experiences on other sites. And I've seen some of the frustrations of there's just one thing you can't do, like, it's the CAPTCHA, or there's a pop-up, or someone was doing like a delivery service, and they were on this website, and then they had to go to another part of the website that was from another company. It was a delivery service that was associated with the shopping experience, and that was not accessible. So imagine you'd spent like 30 minutes putting together your shopping cart. Oh, great, I'm now going to go get it delivered.
Yes.
And yeah, they were complaining. They're like, and I need to get this in the next 24 hours. It's got some medication. Like it was a kind of a desperate moment, but that's the reason I was reviewing it, because I was told like, hey, you got to check this out. But boy, I'm just, as CEO, by the way, it's just amazing to me about, like, Ryan will attest to this. I get really frustrated now when I see sites that are inaccessible. Yeah, I just have to say, I didn't know.
And believe me, we are the first people to tell, a company, hey, you know what? It's great that we're here, but we are not the ones to, fix your accessibility on your site. We're here to help people with visual info. You only need to fix this.
So.
And I think Target is a perfect example of a very accessible website that is only enhanced more by Ira.
And we did a TeamViewer webinar, if you want to learn more about how to do that. And our agent shared some good tips and tricks in that webinar.
Oh, they've got some good hacks in that one.
They've got some good hacks in that webinar. Yeah, they did. I was going to, I want to throw that out there. Not just to ping IraCast, but to ping our agents and their amazing hacks that they can do. So they've got some good ways.
Isn't just restricted to the Target site, by the way.
It's not just restricted to the Target site.
All over the place, and I'm going to be using some of those coming up this week, because I know some of the companies have already started their Black Friday sales and things like that.
Our agents are pros at finding new coupons, different Google searching to find you different discounts. They are great at Google searching pretty much anything you need. That they might be able to find, and they shared that in that webinar, and it goes over TeamViewer if you would like to learn more about that. It is on our IraCast and also on our YouTube.
And we are doing a little bit of cleanup on our YouTube channel. So we will be, Ryan will be putting together some playlists for our afternoon at the museum and our expeditions, so that you can quickly find those when you want to go over something or go through them all. So we will have those all up very soon in convenient playlists for you. So big excitement. And TeamViewer is a great program. It's something you will be able to download free. You can also use it on your smartphone. Now, there are some restrictions on your smartphone in that in the Apple ecosystem, the agent can only see your screen. They can't manipulate it. And on some, but not all.
And on Android, it's 50-50.
I was going to say, some, but not all Androids, they can manipulate your screen, but that's getting to be a smaller and smaller number, right?
Yep. So smaller and smaller number as it goes older, as they get newer phones and greater in security. But, I believe, on some of the older phones, they are still able to. When in doubt, though, I will say your agents are the pros at this, and they can help you in getting that all set up, and they will let you know if they will be able to control or if they will not be able to control.
Absolutely. So what do you guys think about taking a couple questions here? We haven't done that in a while.
No, we haven't. So again, feel free to raise your hand. Alt+Y on the Mac option, or Alt+Y on Windows, Option+Y on the Mac, *9 on the phone. Or if you're on YouTube, feel free to send us a message over there, and we will be able to get to you there. If you do not want to chat or speak to us on Zoom, you can always use the Q&A or the Zoom chat.
So many ways.
And for all of you on YouTube, you can put your questions in the comments, and we will be happy to grab those.
I see a phone number that begins with 562. So we will go ahead and get to you. Go right ahead. I feel like we don't talk to enough phone numbers on this call, so I want to get some phone numbers.
All right, let's hear it.
You are unmuted. Or should be.
Hello there.
Hi. Thank you, everyone. My name is Marissa. I'm from Southern California, and I love these chats that you guys do, and just absolutely love the product. So keep on doing the good work. I didn't catch the 7 cities that the Starbucks testing is going on in. I was wondering if you could repeat those, please.
I'll repeat it. And I did put it in the Zoom chat, which I realized doesn't go to the...
Yeah, she won't see it on the phone, so.
Yeah, or to the phone. So first off, all the information can be found at, by just Googling Ira, then Starbucks, which will get to
IO/Starbucks too.
Yeah, so if you Google that, you'll hit that.
That actually has a link to go visit all the stores that are Access locations too.
Yeah, and so they are. There are Baltimore, Boston, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, New York City, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. And I think it's important to point out that it's broader than the traditional city limit. It's a little bit broader. So just you might be 15, 20 miles out of Washington, D.C. city center, and you may have a Starbucks near you. So
I'll tell you that for Southern California.
I'm Los Angeles adjacent, so I will.
You will probably have a Starbucks next to you.
You do very well.
Wonderful. Well, I'll go and I'll social media and I'll,
Yeah, and by the way, it's okay, if you have friends who don't have Ira and have them download, or a sighted person can, like, we demo Ira all the time to potential, friends of and whatever, and that counts too. Maybe it's cheating a little bit. I don't know, but those calls count too. So, spread the word.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody.
When in doubt, feel free to check your Ira app. You can look under Apply an Offer and then View Locations, and you will be able to see the nearest Ira Access location nearest to you. And I guarantee you, next to LA, you will have a Starbucks.
There's a search box right up there at the top.
Do that
and
after
you can type in
this.
Starbucks,
Thanks,
and voila.
No, you're so welcome.
Awesome. Well, enjoy your peppermint hot chocolate. Right.
See, that sounds so great. I'm not going to lie. That sounds so great. I'm going to look over here really quick at YouTube and see if we have
I honestly want to find out what toasted white chocolate is. It sounds a little scary.
It does.
Uh,
Either that or it tastes like toasted marshmallows, which would be awesome.
I don't see any questions on YouTube.
Other than burnt chocolate.
Ooh, yeah.
And
That's what I was hoping it wasn't, but
we will speak
no
with
questions,
Linda
Ryan?
Yaks. No, we have questions. I was looking at YouTube to see if we had questions on YouTube really quick. I don't want to leave anybody out here. So.
Oh, do we have Linda out there?
Hi, Janine.
Hi,
everybody.
So.
I have a question real quick. I was on your Ira site the other day looking for, under pricing, to see about gift certificates, because I was going to ask for gift certificates for Christmas so that I could use a gift certificate to buy minutes. Do you have those?
We do.
We sure do.
So
how do you find them?
It'll be at, and I'll put this in the chat too, and you can also give our customer care team a call and they can get this to you as well. Ira.io/gift-2020 is the link, and I will put that in the chat as well.
And stay tuned, Linda, because we're going to be having some fun announcements regarding gift cards in the following week or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, I don't need anything at my age and my little bitty house. And, but this is something that I could certainly benefit from. And people are saying, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, oh, well, how about some Ira minutes? So
how about it?
And where is your customer care? One of the things I did note when I called was I would highly suggest that you add your hours of operation to your upfront message or whatever, because I could not figure out. I mean, I sat on hold for a long time and finally decided that I was calling too early.
Sure. Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. So you can call our customer care line on the 1-800 number, or if you do have the app, your agent can also get you that Ira link as well for the gift cards. And by using one of those, if you don't have a plan, you can use one of the free Ira calls. And they can also get those for you. But yeah, no, that's a good idea, and I will go ahead and mark that one down to.
So
and
can
our
you just
hours
yes, please
are
tell me.
from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Aha.
And our Ira staff, including our customer care team, is all over the country. So,
I should mention that's only for customer care.
There you
So
go.
our agents,
Yes, that's only for
agents
customer
are
care. So
24 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But customer care
Agents,
is 6 a.m. to
24
6
hours.
p.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
I just have to say real quick that I have had nothing but phenomenal care from your agents. So
That's
awesome.
great to hear.
thank you
Love
so
to hear
much.
that. Oh, thank you so much.
You are so welcome, Linda. Take care and have a happy Thanksgiving.
And it wouldn't be right in this without hiring from the other Linda as well. So let's hear from the other Linda, and then we will get to everybody else with hands raised as well.
Hello, other Linda.
Hi there.
Hi,
Hello.
what can we do for you?
Hold on, let me turn the speech off. Okay, here we go. Okay, I wanted to let you know about the experience I had at Starbucks, and I'm not used to using Ira, but I use the iPhone, and I thought all I had to do was press a button to be able to, be able to use it at the Starbucks in Sudbury, Massachusetts, where I live. But I had problems with it. And then this woman that works there, she knew me, that works at the counter, and she's like, "Oh, hi, Linda, can I help you?" And I'm like, and then also, I have a hearing difficulty. So there was a lot of reverberation in there because there weren't many people in there. There was nowhere to sit because of the COVID situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up ordering a pumpkin latte and eating it out, having it outside. But I mean, I was disappointed, probably because of my own ignorance. I couldn't figure out how to use the get Ira help, free Ira help at Starbucks.
Well, Linda, we've got a way that we can help you with that. We have something called an Ira Active Program. Ryan, do you want to tell her about the Ira Active Program? Because this sounds like it would be a great fit for her, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, so we definitely do. We have an Ira Active Program. And what that program is it's a program where we pair you with an Ira coach who is also an explorer. And they can go through and help you with getting to use the application, getting some assistance, maybe if you're having some trouble getting connected, and can really help you get started on that Ira journey.
When? How? I mean, in other words, what happened to me is I didn't have enough time I thought, it's only going to take a few seconds to try to hook up with the help for Starbucks. And it ended up taking too long and being too frustrating, so I didn't use it. So how would I, what would be the when factor in this? How would I go about doing this?
Absolutely. So we can, what we can do for you is we can have one of our Ira Active people reach out to you, and they can go ahead and start that phone conversation with you. Generally, they start in our customer care department to get you started, but we can send your name over and get you started on that. That'd
be awesome, because I know Target, near where I live, they have a Starbucks there that I haven't checked out yet, and I have to go to Target. So I would like to know how to do that, like by Saturday.
Yeah, we can definitely get you somebody.
All right.
We will definitely try to get you somebody by Saturday, Linda, who can help you kind of get everything and give you some tips on how to get the app up and going before you actually get, inside the Starbucks.
Yeah, I'll have to take notes or do something so that I remember. I'm no spring chicken, so.
Oh, no worries. No worries. And believe me, our coaches understand.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you. And who else do we have here, Ryan?
So I thought I was making a quick note. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Adrienne Roy.
Hello, Adrienne. Okay, I think we got you unmuted there.
is asking to unmute you. You are going to have to hit the button on your screen. There we go. There you are
All
unmuted now.
right.
Hi, sorry about that. I have my
No
AirPods in and was across the room.
Oh, no
Totally
worries.
okay.
Hi, I'm Adrienne from Memphis, Tennessee. Unfortunately, not one of the Starbucks cities,
Not
but that's
yet.
okay. I'll wait patiently. I wanted to comment about Target and Target.com because I'm really excited about this. I love Target, and I knew that an agent could view my screen, but I did not know that they could control my screen. And so that's really helpful because recently I have had a little bit of accessibility trouble with Target. I was searching for something and wanted to refine my search results. And when I would hit refine, it would just be a blank screen. And so just having a little bit of trouble. So that's great to know that somehow that maybe they could help if I can't navigate. But
Absolutely.
my question is, and I don't know if anybody has ever tried this, but especially with shopping, let's say for Christmas decorating. I love decorating and I love Target for decorating, but it's not just all about the facts. A lot of it is subjective. And so when I've thought about calling an agent for help with Target, I think, do I need to, what about the subjective part? Okay, you can tell me that these Christmas placemats are plaid, but are they cute? Are they tacky? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That can you speak to that type of a struggle?
And yeah, absolutely. And that is, you named it correctly. It is a struggle because our basic principle is to provide that visual information to you, not to make judgments for you. Now you can ask things like, okay, even if this isn't your style, is this something that you might have in your house or something you might give to your mom, and kind of get a feel for, the agent's ability to let you know or be similar to you. And then everybody's got a different definition of tacky too, unfortunately.
Some ways I'll get around that. Some ways I'll get around that is, if I know kind of where I might put this in my area, I might say, the things I have around this are blue and white. Would this fit in that kind of a scenery? Different colors, throwing out different color schemes. Or what I might do is I might say, all right, I'm going to point my camera at my table. Do you think this placemat would match with what I have here?
Yes, that's a great idea.
And stuff like that. Just where you can, if you know kind of where you want to put the object, getting the agent to look at it and say, would this color match? Would this color look okay in this area? And that's kind of how I'll get around that idea of really trying to get through there. Another thing I might do is find a couple different items, and a lot of these stores will let you compare items together. And so I might grab a couple of items and say, okay, so out of these three, which one do you think would look the best in this spot in my house? And point the camera at it, and ask questions about the color comparison between them, and why that might be the case, so I can you can understand it better. But those are just some thoughts on how you can do it.
At the same time, you can have them controlling your computer and be able to see through the Ira app on your phone at the same time. So, that's not something you'd have to worry about switching back and forth at all.
And Adrienne, I'd say this, just try it. And, it's something we do all the time. And I think if you're kind of hesitant, I think it's just take a leap and get in there. But I think these tips that you heard are fantastic. And the last thing, I just want to always be clear, because we take security and privacy it's so important, and that the agent can only control the screen or view your screen if you permit them, right? We don't have any magic, backdoor, like whatever, like this. You have to actually enable both the read, the viewing, and then you would have to take an extra step to allow them to control the screen. But it's really easy to do if that's what you want to do.
Great. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Have fun shopping. I think I'm going to make an agent's day because I want to find an ugly Christmas sweater. I mean, a really tacky, ugly Christmas sweater. So.
All right. Let's go ahead and go to Larry Ollison.
Hello.
Takes a second to get this one. There we go. There we go. We got you.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello. This is Lorraine Olson. Jaws does not say my name correctly.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm used to it,
Oh, I can imagine.
especially being on all these Zoom calls. I have TeamViewer on my computer, but my question is, say I'm on my grocery store website, how do I get to TeamViewer?
Great question. So if
I
you
mean,
have
I went in and put all my items in the cart except for the things that I wanted the agent to help me find, and I wanted them to help me check out and do the delivery time because they're hard to access.
Sure.
So what you'll want to do is open TeamViewer from your desktop, and it's going to open up a window.
Okay, but first, do I do that before I go to my grocery store website?
No, actually,
You could do this at any time.
Any time.
How do I get to open the TeamViewer website? Do I do an alt tab or?
Actually, what you would do if you have the TeamViewer program downloaded on your computer, you can hit your Windows key and you'll be in that search box. Just type in TeamViewer.
Oh, okay. Because what I've done usually is just call up Ira and give them the website and my username and password, and they go in and that's
works.
That's
definitely a way to do it as well. If that's,
but it's not a good idea on Amazon because then Amazon thinks somebody else is trying to get into my account.
Oh no. Yeah, so the TeamViewer, once you have downloaded that app and installed it, which an agent can also help you do if you need to, not a problem there. But once you have that program installed, you can simply go in, type TeamViewer in that search box. It will open up, and then all you need to do is give the agent. You can either hold up your phone to your computer screen, or you can read the information to your agent, your ID, and then the password that they generate. And they generate a different one each time unless you set it otherwise. And then they're in. And you can do that.
The ID is the same?
Yeah,
the ID
there is a way to do that.
No, but is the ID
generally the ID is always generally the same. Yes.
Okay, and I wrote that down.
The password does change every time. So what I recommend you do is whenever you have your website open, or even before, just open up the TeamViewer application on your computer, and then give your agent a call and just point your phone camera at the computer screen, and they can take a picture or they can write it in right there. And then the agent will automatically be able to control your screen once they've entered your ID and password. They'll be able to do the entire task with you on your computer right then and there. And then what will happen before you hang up the call is the agent will let you know they're exiting your computer.
Yes.
And they will leave your computer. And then you can go ahead and close that TeamViewer application off your desktop.
Yep.
And then you'll be good to go.
Okay, because I've had some struggles just trying to get to the TeamViewer and trying to figure out how it works. So I'm not sure I did it right. So I guess time will tell.
That's also something, Lorraine, that you can call up an agent and say, okay, I want to make sure that I've got TeamViewer set up correctly. Can you help me with this? And we're happy to do that.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you much.
All right. Well,
you're so welcome.
And sometimes, those shopping sites where you've got to pick your time. My husband just did that the other day, and he said, I don't know how people do this. It was not a pleasant experience.
Let's hear from Jerry Smallwood.
Hello, Jerry. And we will have you unmute.
And then Troy, while we're waiting for Jerry there, I did see you. You said you would answer a question live. Do you want to?
Well, it's actually Jerry's question. So
okay.
Let's get him on, and we'll let him ask, and we can answer.
Okay.
We are asking him to unmute. So Jerry, you might have a prompt on your screen. I can go ahead and send it again if we need to here. We'll go ahead and send it again. Okay. You will need to double tap on the unmute or hit space on it if you're on your phone or your computer. There we go.
There
You
we
are
go.
on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
We sure can.
Okay, I just had a question. One of your access locations in this area is not updated. The AT&T location in this area, you have the oldest one on the access location tab, and I'm trying to get them to update it to where they're at now. And last time I checked, I haven't updated it yet. So I just wondered about that.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Gary. Yeah, so in part, we depend on our partners to update us on the locations. And I've taken a note. I've sent that over to the operations team. So I already saw your question, and we'll look into that. Do you care to comment on like either?
Well, one thing I was going to say too is you can also give our tech team and our customer care a call, and they can actually help update that as well.
Okay, thanks.
So they can do that. But go ahead, Troy, too.
Yeah, no, and that actually, Ryan, you're smarter than I am. You're right. That's the best and fastest way.
It's an easiest way to do it.
Yeah, because again, our partners, we check in with them, but they don't always give us updated locations, and so then we depend on you telling us. But you're right. Just call into support, and they'll be able to get that updated.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Super.
So welcome.
Right. I think we have time for one more.
All right. No.
You guys are bringing some great questions tonight. These are things we have not yet heard on an Explorer call,
Yeah,
I think.
this is true.
I think we are going to use our last question to answer something that came from YouTube.
All right.
And the question is, I do have a question regarding plans. When you select the amount of minutes you get each month as a paid customer, does it put a limited time on each Ira call? It does not. So if you give or if you purchase a plan, so let's say you purchase a 300-minute plan, for example, you can have a call for as long as you want, as long as you're within that 300-minute range. So there is no limit on any of our calls. We don't limit your calls. The only calls that we do put some limits on are some of our promotional offers, like our Vispero offers. No, not that one. Our small business offer, our other different access offers. There are some that are limited, but any minutes that you decide to purchase, there are no limits on your calls.
Yep, you could have a 300-minute call if you wanted.
You could, yep. So I thought that was a really good question.
That is a great question.
Super small caveat on that, just like in full transparency, like our agents are humans and they only work for 6, 8 hours, 4 hours, whatever at a time. There may be a situation if you're having a 300-minute call that you're actually running into the end of their shift. But I also want you to know, because we just actually had our agent meeting and we talked about how to best hand that off, and we have a process for literally handing that call off to make sure, or to capture the information so the next agent that picks up and continues the task is super efficient. But and that may happen now and then for those super long 300-minute calls, which do happen, by the way. We do have those.
Yep.
And Deborah, I saw your hand go up and it went back down. So if you still had a question, feel free to put it
Well, I'll
back
tell
up.
you what, we'll give you a hack for how to do this. If you can start your call right after the top of the hour, so like 9:01 p.m. That way you'll know that nobody's going to go off shift in a few minutes. Great. Well, I think we have run out of time for tonight. I want to thank Troy for joining us, and what a great call. You guys have really asked some great questions, and I think we may be giving some love to our Ira Active program here, because it sounds like that could be a really good thing for folks to know about.
Absolutely. And if you want more information on the Ira Active program, I'll just give you a pitch here. Feel free to give our customer care team a call. We've said this a lot in this Zoom, so I do want to say it. If you want to give our customer care team a call, you can give them a call in the US or Canada at 1-800-835-1934, or you can send them an email at support@ira.io. I know we do have international numbers too. So if you're not in the United
I have
States,
them right
we do
here.
have them. So we'll let Janine read those to you too.
I'm going to hold
Again,
up. I have a Braille card, holding that up right here, that has all of the numbers on it. So for Australia, the number is 765-096. For New Zealand, it is 800. Wow, my card's getting worn out. 425-451. And for the UK, believe it or not, where it is kind of dark 30 right now, but that number is 1-800-046-5668. But the easiest way to get to us too is that email, support@ira.io. Well, all right, Ryan, it's time. Time for the Braille calendar, the last page of 2020. Yeah.
Unbelievable. It seems so.
I have a 2021 Braille calendar too. I've got that already. So we are ready. So our next call will be on December 16th. That is December 16th, smack in the middle. And you know, this is a special day for Ryan. This is quite, and you'll find out on the call why it's a special day for Ryan.
You'll find out on that Explorer call. So December 16th.
That's right. You're going to have to wait until that call to find out why this is a special day. But
you will have to find out on that Explorer call. So stay tuned for why that is a special day. And I'll tell you now, it's not related to anything internal. So
believe it or not, this is a big event in Ryan's life here. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, everyone.
We'll leave you guys with that.
Yes, we'll leave you. Just mic drop right there. That's it.
Yep.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We very much appreciate it. And until next time, this has been Janine Stanley, Ryan Bishop, and our CEO, Mr. Troy Otillio for Ira.